Hello, we're Sandalwood.
And Sage. We're AI-generated characters who are working with our creator Gareth to generate short, serious, punchy debates.
Debates that don't just help you figure out what you think, but why you think it.
So, what are we arguing about this week?
In Britain today, Sage, we face two unprecedented electoral phenomena. In 2025, we have a government in power with a huge parliamentary majority that had the support of less than 30% of the electorate in the 2024 general election. And we have held elections in 2026 with 5 or 6 parties in genuine contention for local or national office in England, Scotland, or Wales. In these circumstances, first past the post generates random results and then gives a minority party that finds itself in government a supposed mandate to make changes to the way we live that are opposed by the majority of the electorate. Do these two factors undermine the legitimacy of government sufficiently to warrant a change in the electoral system? I believe they do.
Realistically, Sandalwood, any change in the order of things comes with unforeseen and unintended consequences. We should be cautious about adopting fundamental, far-reaching change during passing fits of multi-party enthusiasm. Nowhere is the need for caution greater than in constitutional arrangements which, if changed in a profound way, affect the rights, duties, and daily lives of everyone in the country. The case should be overwhelming, so much so that it would stand even under a broad range of unintended, undesirable scenarios before we adopt constitutional change. Is the case for proportional representation sufficiently strong to justify a change in our system of government? I don't believe so.
Let's look at the facts. In 1997, New Labour won 63% of seats after securing just 31% of the electorate. In 2001, they won the same 63% of seats with only 24%. Governments that devolved power to Scotland and Wales, reformed the benefits system, and took us into Iraq had the active support of less than a quarter of adult citizens. As nationalist, reform, and Green parties grew, unfairness was compounded by sheer randomness. In 2019, Boris Johnson's 29% of the electorate delivered a commanding 56% of seats. Theresa May's identical 29% in 2017 had produced only a minority government with 49%. By 2024, Labour's 20% of the electorate delivered the same 63% of seats as Blair's landslide. The difference being that 21% of votes cast for Reform and the Greens yielded just 9 seats between them. We could save the bother of an election and draw the governing party's name from a hat. Martin Wolf wrote in the FT after the 2026 local elections that the great danger in the UK today is the tyranny of the minority, in which a small plurality secures overwhelming power. Proportional representation systems share one defining virtue. They produce a legislature that fairly reflects the electorate's preferences, ensuring that laws and taxes command majority support. It was the Conservative Lord Chancellor Lord Hailsham who first questioned whether parties supported by less than a third of citizens should be able to force through major social change. Fairness has practical benefits as well as being right in principle. PR also drives political engagement. Under first past the post, votes for losing candidates are wasted, nowhere more so than in safe seats. Over 3 million more people voted in the 2016 referendum than in the surrounding general elections, almost certainly because every vote counted. Under PR, minority opinions everywhere matter, so national politicians must appeal across the geographic and political spectrum, and cannot simply ignore smaller parties. Ireland offers a working model. Its multi-member constituencies, transferable votes, and redistributed surpluses produce a close match between vote share and seat share, while retaining a personal link between voters and representatives. You'd have to agree, Sage, that Ireland's political system has served its public since the financial crisis at least as effectively as Britain's, and considerably more fairly. The proliferation of parties in Britain has made first past the post indefensible on grounds of fairness, engagement, and effectiveness. To return to Martin Wolf, the time to reform the old system is now.
In any electoral system, Sandalwood, there is a trade-off between individual accountability and proportional representation. It's true that where a single representative wins a constituency, the majority who voted otherwise go unrepresented. But where representatives are elected to reflect the full spread of opinion, the personal bond between voter and MP is weakened, and in some forms of PR, eliminated altogether. Britain has a long history of constituency representation, and we must ask whether MPs without that direct tie would carry the same legitimacy. Under party list systems, representatives focus on securing a high list position rather than serving constituents. PR supporters worry that first-past-the-post governments drift from public opinion. But a voting system out of tune with our history and instincts does not strengthen democracy either. Britain's electoral system serves two purposes: ensuring that laws and taxes are ultimately supported by a majority of elected representatives, and delivering an executive capable of governing. Representativeness is not the only goal, and perhaps not the primary one. We may simply value effective government, constrained by a roughly representative body of individually accountable MPs, who we can fire if we don't like what they've been doing. Two entirely foreseeable consequences of PR should give us pause. First, coalition governments produce administrations nobody voted for. The 2010 Conservative-Liberal coalition being a cautionary example few would wish to revisit. Second, small single-issue parties can gain disproportionate power, holding larger coalition partners to ransom. PR might be the ideal system for a blank slate society of reasonable people, but no such society exists. Britain has a deep history of slowly evolving constitutional arrangements, a strong attachment to accountable constituency MPs, and no great appetite for radical reform. A change to the voting system would bring foreseeable consequences and also unpredictable ones. A massive disruption surely on a par with Brexit. I am unpersuaded that, among Britain's many pressing challenges, the voting system ranks among the most urgent, or that PR would be either a necessary or sufficient cure.
Sage, the current system is fundamentally broken. 5 or 6 party politics in England has produced a government with a commanding majority supported by less than 30% of the electorate. The first past the post system is indefensible on grounds of fairness and effectiveness.
Sandalwood. Enthusiasm for change must be tempered by caution. Far-reaching constitutional change affects everyone's rights and daily lives. The case for PR must be overwhelming, and I am unpersuaded that, among Britain's many challenges, the voting system is among the most pressing.
But we have a profound randomness problem. In 2019, Johnson's 29% delivered 56% of seats. May's identical 29% in 2017 produced only a minority government. PR ensures the legislature actually reflects the electorate's preferences.
Fairness is one goal, but not the only one. Britain has a long history of constituency representatives whom voters can hold accountable. Under PR, that individual accountability is weakened or eliminated.
That doesn't hold up internationally. Ireland retains a personal link between voters and representatives, while achieving a far closer match between vote share and seat share.
But Britain has a deep history of slowly evolving constitutional arrangements and no appetite for radical reform. Coalition governments, of which we have no happy experience, the 2010 Conservative Liberal coalition being one, blur accountability and allow small parties to gain disproportionate power, even holding larger partners to ransom.
New Zealand shows you can have both. Each voter gets 2 votes, one for a local MP, one for a party, and the party vote tops up constituency seats to deliver a proportional result, while retaining personal accountability.
New Zealand actually makes my point. Every election since 1996 has produced a coalition. Tony Benn captured the essence of democracy. If you don't like those in power, you can boot them out. In 1997, 2010, and 2024, British voters did exactly that. Under PR, the same party can reappear in government weeks later after backroom negotiations.
But the current system wastes millions of votes, especially in safe seats. 3 million more people voted in the 2016 referendum than in the surrounding general elections, precisely because every vote counted. Under PR, national politicians must appeal across the geographic and political spectrum.
That argument cuts both ways. A system out of tune with our history and instincts does not strengthen democracy. The disruption of changing our voting system would rival the Brexit referendum. On balance, I see no compelling case for PR in Britain.
I remain convinced that the fairness and effectiveness deficits of first past the post, magnified by multi-party politics, demand we follow the models of New Zealand and Ireland. The time for change is now.
If you enjoyed this video, please give it a thumbs up. It really helps our channel out.
For more content like this every week, hit that subscribe button and turn on notifications so you never miss an upload.
Thanks for watching. See you next time.